What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we have to go over the news that's surrounding former President Donald Trump and why the Department of Justice decided to raise his Mar-a-Lago home and seize multiple boxes of classified, secret, and top secret documents. Now I know a lot of people are going to say, well, why would they go and why would the Department of Justice just release the news and release the documents stating what they were looking for? Well, they did this because former President Donald Trump and his legal team ordered the Department of Justice to release the documents, and the federal judge did exactly that. Now, I want to address what's going on here, because inside these warrants, the Department of Justice shows that it had probable cause as to which statutes they believed were actually violated. The statutes are these. First, there's a violation of Espionage Act, Obstruction of Justice, and destruction of federal documents. Those are the three things. Now, I want to be very clear on something. If the Department of Justice decides they want to charge former President Donald Trump with these crimes, they can do so. If they don't want to do that, they don't have to. If they find something else with that they believe is a more severe crime, they can charge him with that as well. But at this time, former President Donald Trump, he's not been charged with any crime. And I think that's what you need to keep in mind. And there is a very important thing that I want to touch on in just a second, because one of these three violations, one of these things doesn't carry any prison time. Okay? What it does is it will alter, it does. Let me clarify that. It does potentially carry a max sentence of prison time, which is only 3 years. But at the same time, there's a bigger thing here that you need to keep in mind. All right. So I want to address that in just a second. But according to the Department of Justice, the fact that these items were declassified documents, this doesn't matter. Okay. And again, whether they were declassified or not, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the warrant. But just the fact alone that these documents were in the state of Florida, that's what caused major problems. And what you need to keep in mind is that there's something called a SCIF. Okay, and so it's a very very protected room, or it could be a building, whatever. Mar-a-Lago used to have a SCIF when former President Donald Trump was the actual president. I don't know if he still would have a SCIF, which again, a very secretive, protected room. But at the same time, whether he does or doesn't might not matter. Now, here's something else you need to understand. According to the warrant, it does not name former President Donald Trump as the subject of these crimes. It's actually the location that is key. Now, whether or not former President Donald Trump was one that took the documents or somebody else did, that's something that would be later brought up in a further investigation. But as of right now, that's not the case. Now, here's what we know. So let's talk about these three violations. First, there's the violation of the Espionage Act. And this is actually when a person has the intent to harm the United States or provide some intel to another country. And they do this by either gathering information, losing information, or destroying information such as defense. This actually has a maximum prison time of 10 years. There's also the obstruction of justice. This is destroying or altering or even concealing any record or document to actually influence a federal investigation. This one has a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison, which I think is interesting, that if you are charged with espionage, it's a 10-year prison sentence, but obstruction of justice is 20 years. Should those be flipped the other way around? I'm just curious. And then this one, and this is the big one. I want to explain why. The big one is destruction of federal documents. Now, destruction of federal documents pretty much means the removal or mutilation of federal records. This has a maximum penalty of 3 years. Now, if former President Donald Trump were to be charged with destruction of federal documents, there's probably a way this would go. First, would he serve any prison time? The chances are no, he would not. But here's the next thing. In addition to a maximum of 3 years in prison, it would be also the forfeiture of current office position or the disqualification of holding a future position in office. Now, we've never had this before as far as the president's concerned, but again, it could be done. And the reason why I bring this up is because the destruction of federal documents is what Democrats are really trying to go after. They've been trying to do this for a while. Just figure out a way to prevent former President Donald Trump from running for president once again. Because the expectation is, if former President Donald Trump runs for office and current President Biden runs for office, Trump is going to win. That's the expectation. Now, let's talk about what was actually seized from former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. What we know is that there were 20 boxes that were seized from Mar-a-Lago. Now, what was inside these 20 boxes, that's something that we don't really know. And I say this because we haven't actually got the details of this just yet. And my guess is, if they are marked secret and top secret and confidential, we will not ever know these. This is not something that we're going to know. Whether Donald Trump decided to declassify this information or not, I doubt we're going to know what was actually in these boxes. So as of right now, 20 boxes, some were listed as secret, top secret, others were listed as confidential. So we're going to see what happens moving forward, but I just wanted to fill you in on what was actually done, because as of right now, the statements coming from Democrats are, we have to figure out what he's hiding. And again, whether President Trump is hiding something or not, we don't know. But that's what's coming out of Democrats' mouths is, hey, he has to be hiding something. He has to be selling information. He has to be hiding or concealing what he did on January 6th. Again, all of this is only because of the January 6th riots at the Capitol. That's what all this is coming from. All this is stemming from. So just keep that in mind. And again, I know we're going to get a lot more updates, as the days go by, as the weeks go by as well. I promise I will fill you in on everything that we're learning as we go along. One thing that I also do promise is that I'm not going to dive too deep into what these search warrants may mean or what's going to happen there, unless this actually impacts the upcoming midterm elections and potentially the presidential election 2024. I'm not going to go too deep into this because, again, I try to make this channel more about congressional news, finance, right? The United States, the economy. So if it doesn't really pertain to that, I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So if this is something that you want to know a lot more information about, I will try to do my best to mix it in there, but it's not going to be 100% on just what's going on with former President Donald Trump. Not because I don't like the guy, okay? I like the guy. But at the same time, I'm trying to be very clear as to where this channel is going. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.